Somebody asked me, one of my viewers asked me to make a video on how to travel to Russia because he and his mom wanted to go to Russia, visit Moscow, I suppose. They're not experienced travelers and they didn't really know how to go about it. So first I said, yes, I will do that. And then I said, after like thinking about it, I thought, nah, I better not go there because I'm actually a very experienced traveler and the way I travel might not suit them. Talked with someone else and she said, well, I think you should do it because there's a lot of people who don't know all these things. And she said, me? I don't know anything about travel and I would like to travel, but I'm always afraid of will I ever come back? So there are many, many ways. There's as many ways probably to travel as there is people who travel. So I can only talk about my way. And my way is, if I want to go somewhere, I will figure out how to do it. When I say, if I want to go somewhere or do something somewhere else than where I am, and I really want to do it, then I'll figure out how to do it. It may be difficult, it may be easy, but I'll figure it out. And I would overcome all the barriers to doing it. Now, I happen to love Russia, and I have very good friends in Russia. 2017, I had been pensioned for 5 years. And I really, really, really wanted to go to Russia and see, just be there. Because when I grew up, Russia was like so far away from anybody's possibility of thinking they could go there. And there was a lot of Russophobia also there, and black propaganda and so on and so forth. And as I grew up, I learned that that's possibly not right. I still loved Russia, have affinity, and I thought, I don't think it's true, all these things. But even until I actually met Russians, I had so much false data, black propaganda, and my whole brain was like wired towards life must be very difficult there, must have been difficult there, and the people actually thought, people thought that perestroika was a good thing. My Russian friend said to me, no, it was not a good thing. So I said, Actually, one of them said, you don't know. And I thought, that's true, I don't know. So anyway, in 2017, I went there. And the whole process or procedure of getting the visa was excruciating, because if you do something wrong, you have to, go back and redo it. And you have to actually go to the visa office yourself, put in your application, your passport, and then come back and collect it. I wanted to get it right the first time, so I didn't have to travel. It's like travel like 1.5 hours with the train, and it costs money and blah, 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 blah. When you want a visa, you can get, nowadays you can get an e-visa for 16 days, including arriving and leaving the country. Otherwise, you can get a tourist visa for 30 days, and you can read all about it on the net. You just go in on the Russian consulate in your country, and read up, and you follow the advice exactly, which is like you have to, there are different things you have to have, and you have to follow that. If you follow it correctly, then they will very likely approve the visa, because we are very welcome in Russia. So I went there again in 2023. Things had changed a bit because there was the, I call it a war, a war in Ukraine. We're still very welcome there. And I got my visa, but I could not use Visa and MasterCard. A hotel booked, and you pay when you actually arrive at the hotel with Russian rubles. So I had to change money, and so that I had it on arrival. I made a video, and I'll put a link in the directions how that all went. I changed the money in the airport, and I shouldn't have done that because the exchange rate is terrible. So I advise that you change only enough to pay your taxi and one night. Then you can go in and say, look, let me pay for this one night, and then tomorrow I go and change my money in the bank and come and pay the rest. Or if you arrive early, you can pay for one night, leave your luggage there, go to a bank and change your money. I use Gazprom. I don't know what it is today. Things change. Now, in 23 and 24, we could get a SIM card in the airport, and I had a very nice lady. She fixed it in my phone. She even booked a taxi and told me you don't pay more than this. And but now you can't use a SIM card. You can buy one, but you can't use it because it has to be registered, and the registration of you to be able to use your SIM card in Russia is a very long procedure. And that is a new law from the 1st of January. The law has been put there because there's a lot of illegal workers in Russia, and they have been in, not all, some of them have been involved in terrorist activities that has cost a lot of lives. And so they have put in a law that all foreigners, whether they are tourists or illegal workers, have to register in a certain way in order to be allowed to use a SIM card, because a SIM card is what gives you the opportunity to do a lot of things in Russia, including having a bank account, having a debit card, getting around, and having a map how to get around anywhere in Russia. So that is the reason why, and this is because of the war. There's all these things, and my viewpoint is, okay, this is, too bad. It's a snag, and it makes travel a little bit, or a lot more difficult, because I can't even use the mobile to translate and so on and so forth. However, compared with the people who are actually fighting the war, this is like nothing. So just take it and do whatever you can. Okay? This sounds probably all very complicated. But the way I look at it, I actually don't mind a challenge. I have had a very active life. I have traveled for 45 years. I've traveled. I worked in Africa, in East Asia. I also had a stint in the US. I've been just about everywhere except in South America. And when I decided I would retire, I'd had enough. I said, I won't travel anymore. I've traveled enough. So instead, I got back to Denmark. I, established myself, got a flat and so on. And I started studying things that I had never had time to study. But I think it was in 2021, I said, this is it. I cannot sit here any longer and study. I have to get out in the world again. I actually realized that when I am most happy is either I study something that is like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, wow, wow. Or in the past, the happiest moments were the ones where I worked really, really hard towards achieving a certain goal or product or something that, I did projects, social projects, social programs, projects in Africa and in East Asia. And those in East Asia also dealt with governments. I dealt with all levels. And the last one I did was in Vietnam, and it took 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years to get it actually approved. Whatever. That's from the first day I met people there and got them interested till I had it approved completely, got the funding and so on, was 8 years. And then 2 years of working off and on there. And that was very difficult and very rewarding, because I was training medical doctors, or my team was training medical doctors on a detox method that helped the veterans recover their health after having been poisoned in the American war in Vietnam by the Agent Orange. I think 3-4 million people. And there were still many who were alive, but they were very sick and so on. And so that was what I did. And it was, of course, very worthwhile. It was not an easy, it was not easy. I love Vietnam. I admire the people. They are freedom fighters, absolutely fantastic freedom fighters, very resourceful. Now they are also, running a lot of business. They are Buddhist, they are communist, they are like, anyway, they're wonderful people. I learned a lot there. But it was difficult. But it was a very happy time because we overcame all the difficulties. My son says, you are a diplomat. And that is true, because if you're not a diplomat, you can't do this kind of thing. Anyway, so when I decided to retire, the project was running very well. No, this is my best project. it is the last party. I'm never going to have one like that again. It does take about 10 years to accomplish something like that. So being 71 at that time, I said, no, there's no time to do that. So I just want to retire. I want to do all the things I haven't had time to do. And I was studying. Now, I'd had enough of travel, but then I decided, no, the happy times is when you overcome the barriers, the challenges, and you actually achieve what you want. So I decided in either it was 20 or 21 that now I am going to change this studying at home. And that's why when I travel, I don't mind challenges. But not everybody has that viewpoint. Like, we're all different. Some people want to travel, go to a place, rest, look around, and just enjoy. But that's not my cup of tea. I want the challenges, and for sure, when you go to Russia, not knowing what it is a challenge. And as things change all the time, it sort of stays a challenge. When you travel, it's out of your comfort zone. Nothing goes on automatic as it does at home. So you have to have your awareness, like you have to be awake, you have to have your awareness up, you have to be in good health, you have to know why you're going, where you're going, you have to plan it out and try to follow the plan, but leaving space for surprises. You have to be aware that it is getting out of your comfort zone. And even me, having traveled so much, last time I went, that was last summer, I had packed everything, I was ready. I had my suitcase, my carry-on. I looked at it and I thought, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have started all this. I had to kick myself out of the door, out of my comfort zone. I mean, even when I'm so experienced, I had to kick myself out of my comfort zone. I got down on the street waiting for the taxi, and I was out of my comfort zone. I was ready for whatever comes, awake, and there you go. So that's it. I hope it helped you. I wish you a good travel. One more thing is preparing. I prepare for months every travel I do. I call it a project. I prepare for it, and that's half the fun, actually. So, good preparing, good travel, and take it as it comes to you and enjoy it. If you don't want to do that, stay home. Bye-bye.